You know, if you can masturbate and bring yourself to orgasm, can you? Yes or no? Just, you can think about that for a second. Yes, I can. There is the potential for you to go to deeper layers of orgasm with your partner. It's a dance. And I want to talk particularly about this orgasmic growth, multiple orgasms happening with a partner. Okay, because we're bringing two people together here, masculine and the feminine. And it's a dance between the two of you, right? It's a dance that you need to support each other through this dance. You need to be there for each other. You need to shift and change depending upon what the other person needs, depending what the other person is feeling or wants, right? You need to be there for them. There's certain things that the masculine it needs to do in order to help the feminine along in reaching other layers of orgasm. And there's things that the feminine has to do in order to help the masculine along in reaching other stages of orgasm. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about a few things that you can focus upon in order to get to multiple layers of orgasm or multiple orgasms in your physical being. So first of all, orgasm requires certain kinds of elements to happen. That being, breath is one. Huge. You need to access your breath and have the breath happening, deep breath going on in your body. Be able to access where the breath is, be able to move the sexual energy with breath through your body so that your body can be full of oxygen, can be full of sexual energy, can be tapped into the opening, the possibility of opening, the possibility of being activated, right? If there's not breath happening and you're, it's all up here, neck up, which tends to be the case in our daily life because we're not thinking, okay, deep sexual breaths today. Although I would say that if you can, check out, I've got some videos on my YouTube channel that talk about how to breathe. I'm not going to go into the actual breath work, but if you check my YouTube, I do have a video there. And if you go into the Activate Alive program, we're going to be working on breathing. Super important in order to access your layers of orgasm. Okay, deep breaths that spread the sexual energy through your entire body. And this is for masculine and feminine. Okay, breath is so important. The other aspect that's super important in order to get to layers of multiple orgasm is movement, right? Movement. You're not, orgasm is movement, right? It requires the movement to actually be accessed. And so there are ways that you can learn to move that will help induce the orgasm. And this is all connected. You know, the breath is connected to the movement. The breath moves you. The breath causes the movement. If you do yoga, then it's a good place to learn to breathe and connect your movement to your breath, because yoga is about breathing and the movement comes with the breath, right? You breathe in and the movement goes, you breathe out and the movement changes. You know, once you get that kind of synced movement and breath, yoga is just like incredible, beautiful, healing kind of art, healing dance, healing modality, right? So orgasm is also a healing modality. So you want to sync your breath with your movement. But you can practice certain movements around, moving your hips, moving your body, movements that are non-linear. So if you don't know what non-linear means, it means movements that are not prescribed or not set out. Like if you were doing the samba, which I do in Rio de Janeiro, there's certain steps, right? You learn the steps. And of course, some dances also, there's energetic things within the dance that make it even more passionate. But you learn steps. That is not considered linear. Non-linear is there's no prescribed steps involved. You just breathe and let the body move with however the breath takes it. So that's the kind of movement you want to tap into, that non-linear movement, right? Non-linear movement. When you're having sex, you're not thinking, okay, I'm going to put my leg here, I'm going to put my back up here, now I'm going to move here, now I'm going to, you don't think these things, right? Do you? Does anybody? No. If you're watching, send me some hearts. Hello, hello. I love to see a heart, so I know that you're out there. So movement. Yeah, you got the movement going in your body, and it's non-linear. Again, non-linear. You don't plan it. You don't plan it. You breathe and you feel it. You let the movement go. You let the movement happen based on your breath. Okay, so we're talking about breath. We're talking about movement. Two aspects to start that are really important to get to levels of multiple orgasms: breath, movement. The next one I want to talk about is sound. Breath, movement, sound. And how many of you out there, or how many of you listening, you make a lot of sound when you're having sex? You allow that natural sound just to explode from your body. That is really accessing the orgasmic connection, right? The sound is part of allowing yourself. It's part of a release, so it allows you to get to other layers. You release whatever's in there through your sound. You express yourself through your sound. And again, it's like a non-linear sound. Okay, it's not a prescribed, well, there's certain sounds that you're supposed to make when you're having sex. There are not. Every single person is going to make different kinds of sounds, right? If you've had multiple partners, you probably know that. Different people make different sounds. Some people make no sound. Some people are very afraid of making sound. And I'm sure Emma says, I'm sure our neighbors are horrified. I love it. I love you, Emma. Yes, good. Let them be horrified. I mean, I think, wouldn't it be better that they're horrified that you're making sexy, passionate sounds, and if you're screaming at each other and calling I had neighbors downstairs once that would scream and yell and call each other horrible names, and I mean, it's awful. But if they were down there having sex, I'd be like, yeah, right on. I'd get turned on, right? People get turned on in the neighborhood. You're sending your beautiful sexual passionate energy all out into the neighborhood, and we need more of that. We just need more of it. Imagine the whole neighborhood, all over the neighborhood. It would be awesome, just awesome. So sound, it's accessing that sound, that deep bottom sound that you maybe that's holding on to something that's a deep blockage somewhere, right? When you are having sex, or when you are with your partner in an intimate kind of way sexually, and you just want to express this because it feels so good, and you've let yourself go and you're breathing deeply, you just let that sound come out, and it causes a release. It lets you take yourself to another level of possible orgasm. Okay, now orgasm comes in all sorts of different, there are all sorts of different types of orgasm, of course. Like you can look at 3 different levels for a woman. There's more than 3, but let's say if you're going vaginally, you're going to go with the clitoral, you're going with the G spot, you're going with the cervical, there's of course the A spot that exists as well. There's other places within the feminine that has this orgasmic potential, but orgasm can be accessed by a touch, by somebody breathing, your partner breathing. I'm back. By your partner breathing on you. Orgasm can be accessed by the feeling of what's, the surroundings, nature, the air. Just the more sensitive you become to your body, the more you get connected to that breath in your body, and then allow for this movement of the body, and then the release of the sound, the more you become very sensitive to possible orgasms of your entire body. If I had a women's group one time, one of my women's groups, and we were talking about, I said, okay, what part of the female body is orgasmic? And if you start to think about it and you start to go through it, everything is orgasmic, really. Everything. Every part of the feminine can reach an orgasmic state, can reach orgasm. Okay, so if you are in that place of one orgasm or no orgasms, then I highly encourage you to do some breath work. There's lots of different kinds of breath work that's available to really get the sexual energy moving, and then allow your body to move in a non-linear fashion. Again, and I'm just sort of reiterating, if anyone's just come on now, and then the sound, the natural. I froze again. Okay, and then letting the natural sound come out. And the fourth thing that's really important around orgasm is touch. Okay, touch. You know, when you are either touching yourself or your partner is touching you, and I'm talking about just one way of touching. I'm talking about the exploration of touch of the body. So for the feminine to reach different layers of orgasm, the feminine requires lots of different kinds of touch, from very gentle, soft kind of touch to that is more squeezing and gushy, and then to like really, really intense kind of touch, like variety, exploration of touch. Okay, this is all exploration, because you have to figure out what works for your body. You and your partner has to figure out what works for the feminine body. You have to figure out what works for the masculine body. I know I'm very focused on the feminine, but the masculine as well requires the same elements: breath, right? Deep breathing, sound. A lot of men are afraid to allow to let their sound out during sexual activity. I found women are generally a little bit more open to it, because, well, if you look at any kind of pornos or anything, I don't know, you see stuff where women are always screaming, and so, you know, okay, they have more permission, but it is so hot and sexy, and it stimulates the feminine when the masculine is able to allow the sound to come out as well. And this can take her to orgasm in herself, right? It's not just the breath and the movement and the sound and the touch coming from yourself, but no, not what was I going to say? It's not just you experiencing these things and you having orgasm, but it's your partner doing these things as well, and you experiencing their experience, which also helped bring you to orgasm. So this is the dance, the two of you practicing these different elements, so that together you are exploring. You're exploring what your body needs in breath, in touch, in movement. Don't restrict yourself. Allow your being to do what it requires. Allow your partner to explore what they require, and be there to support them through that in both directions. It's so worth it. It's a beautiful dance of the sexual, and it frees you up. And this is the big one I wanted to come to, and that is surrender. Okay, surrender. So I talked about non-linear movement. It's all non-linear. It's all spontaneous. So in order to allow that breath, you have to sort of surrender, right? You have to surrender. You have to say, okay, whatever comes out, I'm going to let it come out. I'm not going to judge this. I am not going to criticize myself. I am not going to allow that voice to come in that says, what are you doing? That's really naughty. That's not a very nice girl or a nice boy thing to do. Really, really? That's what you feel like doing? This voice, it's like, okay, breathing really helps you get back to the body, get back to the place where the information is, to allow for spontaneity, for freedom, for surrender. And as the two of you are on this dance of surrender, you go to all these beautiful places together, right? Okay, so that is a brief description of going from none to multiple. Yes, it does take a little bit of work. It does take presence, focus, understanding, practice. It takes practice. Things take practice. Having good sex, reaching levels of orgasm takes practice. We have a lot of, well, we're all different. We're all going to come with different kinds of things inside of us, different beliefs, different baggage, different heaviness, different blockages, right? So in order, we're all going to be going through the journey in a different kind of way. And that's okay. That's okay. This is part of the dance. This is part of the exploration, that we surrender to it. We just fully surrender to whatever wants to come up, whatever is talking to us, whatever is speaking to us in that place of complete surrender, right? Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful world. Beautiful, beautiful world. So, yes, if I have resonated with anyone, send me some hearts. Hello, hello, heart, 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 hearts. Who out there is ready to explore or is exploring their sexual being? Send me a heart. Yes, yes. Or one heart. Come on, guys. Or would love to explore their sexual relationship. And when I'm saying explore, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going to other layers of orgasm together. I'm talking about exploring breath work together and exploring your movement together and exploring release of sound together. And then beyond that as well, if you want, exploring with other people, exploring in other places. And, there's so many doors that you can open. It's so many possibilities that you never want to stop. You never want to give up. Just keep the possibility open and surrender to the possibilities of what your body is saying. Okay. So to close off, again, I have a program. If you are ready to, as a couple, ready to go and make some reconnection to your sexual, explore in a different way, find out what's going on because maybe things are not gelling or you're kind of bored in the place that you are and you would like to expand to a different place, this is the for you. I do and you would like to opening to more contact me and I hope it's looking like I'm so much. So thank you. You much love. Remember, who is it's limited. I'm only taking 10 couples, and I have 2 couples that are in right now. So looking for 10 couples that are ready to take their sex life to another level. Okay, much love making. Talk to you soon. Bye.